SpykeMH versus Mioko. So as soon as they set up the invite. So this is another TSDL round of 64 game. Looks like we're playing on the cave map. And here we go. Let me turn down the volume just a little bit. Alright, that should be good. Okay, so we have Spike as player 1, Mioko player 2. On Spike's side, ooh, we see an SP Hein. I like it. It's the triple SP box. There's a Shelfaniel over there as well. 3 tank as expected. But overall, a pretty interesting box from Spike. Not completely standard. Mioko also has a Shelfaniel. We have a potential Shelfaniel mirror match. That's not something you see very often. I'm excited. And other things in Miyoko's box, it's, again, same 3 tanks, same healers. Yeah, Rosen, Florin, and Leanna, kind of the 3 go-to healers this season. So Spike still has all his tanks available, so he does not need to pick a tank right now. So he's looking at which DPS he wants into this probable Landius. Looks like Spike's box is very well set up for dealing with a Jugler. So there's no real reason to pick a Jugler if you're Mioko. You'd much rather have that Landius, so Spike's gonna go with Sigma as an answer to the Landius. Just kind of go around the Landius, ignore him as long as you can. See how Mioko responds. It should always be a Landius pick, just because Jugler is going to be so frail against Spike's box. There's a lot of strong magic damage in the T-Jess and the Hein. You have Elwyn is still around. So there's too many things that threaten this Jugler out. I'd be surprised to see him show up. Strategy-wise, it looks like Spike is much heavier single target. Though there are some AoE options, some flexible options. Hein is a very good flex pick between AoE and single target. Ares, another flexible choice. So he definitely has the potential to go AoE if he wants, or he can go single target. Against a Landius, you'd probably rather go AoE. But those flexible options means that if a Jugler gets picked first instead, you can still pick the same units, but go single target and counter the Jugler. That's been kind of a trend that's been happening in boxes recently, is these flexible units showing up more and more. It's going to be a Mariel second, looks like. Yep. That's just continuing the theme of picking up assassins and just ignore the Landius. You don't have to fight the Landius, and usually it ends poorly if you try. Mioko, strategy-wise, is very much a heavier AoE style. Gizarov, Kruger, Reen, Shelfaniel, obviously. There's a lot more AoEs available. Spike did not quite get his healers banned out. He does still have Florin available. And it's going to be a Tree Sage. Tree Sage doesn't shut down anything that's here on the board for Spike right now, but it could potentially shut down some of the picks in the back. The Ares gets shut out by it. The Deedlit has to bring less optimal troops. Jugler gets shut out by it. So I can see why you would go for the Tree Sage here. It's a very defensive pick. He's going to lose a lot of damage for it, but it's not unreasonable, for certain. Looks like it's going to be Reen Gizarov ban, so no AoEs. Ooh, it's just... Yep, Jugler. Tank pick was prompted by the banning of Hilda, and he gets Jugler left open, which is a bit surprising if you're Mioko. I feel like Jugler's the tank that you would rather ban over Hilda. Especially with Healer still being left open. So he's now going to have Jugler and Florin. If you're already kind of low on damage with this Landius Tree Sage pick to start with. So I think Mioko's gonna run into some issues actually breaking through this team. And that's not even considering the fact that he's gonna lose a bunch of units to Sigma and Mariel just assassinating things. So there's Kruger. Florin's not the best at dealing with debuffs. So Kruger is definitely going to harass this team quite a bit. But if Kruger just gets picked by Sigma before he can really start to take off, Miyoko's going to have a hard time, I think. I think Miyoko's going to have a hard time. It looks like Spike's going to kind of set up for an in-game 3v3 or 4v4 where he's going to have just more damage available. Deedwit's the pick. Okay, so going Deedwit for his healer. He does lose Florin for doing that, so Sea of Miracles isn't the best at dealing with Kruger either. You're only able to dispel 2. Jugler gets picked. If there weren't so many assassins, I would like this Jugler pick a lot. With the Sigma Mariel, I'm not as confident in it. Because Jugler is a very good pick if you have a good stall out team here. Oh, he just barely missed his ban. Couldn't decide in time and clicked confirm basically as it ended. That's rough. That's really, really rough. It will be a Landius to end as well. So it's going to be Landius Jugler versus Landius Jugler. Mioko now Mioko now has his choice of healer, since Spike, was a frame late clicking confirm. And that looked like Mioko got auto-deployed though. So, whoops, I hit blank. So what do we have here? We have mirrored Landius Juglers. We have a Tree Sage. So Mioko is Tree Sage, Kruger, Rosen. Spike is Deedwit, Mariel, Sigma. I think I like Spike's team more because I think Kruger and Rosen are going to get traded away. And then if you're in a 3v3 with, all 4 of the tanks and then Deedwit versus Tree Sage, I think Deedwit's going to win that every time. I think Deedwit's going to keep your team in better shape. And is going to definitely out-damage the Tree Sage, and I think she's going to do a better job of keeping you healed up as well. But with Juglers on both sides of the field, there's a lot of potential for 3C and B-Shock shenanigans to go down to make tanks stop guarding at key moments. There's definitely a lot of potential for this game to go sideways for both players. So I do like Spike's pick ban here a little bit more, but I don't think it's a free win for anybody. And here we go. First thing that I see is there are werewolves on the Jugler. I'm not a fan of that this game. There's a lot of magic damage, especially, your end game is almost certainly going to include Tree Sage as a holy unit, and that's just a lot of extra damage that you're giving him for not a whole lot of reason. Steel Mains really don't even protect you better against a B-Shock from the Jugler. You'd rather have a bunch of stacked damage reduction versus that. So I'm not very fond of the Steel Mains. That is a bracer on that Kruger. That Kruger has a bracer. That's unexpected. Okay. Alright. Yep. Weird. Kruger gonna go ahead and infect the Sigma. See that a lot. Spike's definitely going to struggle to get through to deal with these debuffs with just the Deedwit to help. Gonna go ahead and mark the Kruger. Yep, no complaints there. That's pretty obviously the one that you want to kill the most. There's really nothing relevant on this team outside of the Kruger even. I guess he does have Mariel can cleanse some debuffs as well. With, what's the name of it? God King Sanctuary, I believe. So he does have a couple of answers to debuffs. I just don't know if it's enough. Maybe Mariel brought the single target heal though. I have not seen her set to know for certain. She did not. Alright, Tree Sage buffs up. No surprises there. I didn't do this. I forgot to ping the Discord. I'm going to do that off of my phone real quick. Landius buffs, sure. Okay, there we go. That's my bad. I heard a breeze somewhere. I wasn't looking to see where it was. Looks like it was either the Kruger or the Deedwit. It was not the Kruger, so it was the Deedwit. Okay. Or the Mariel. I didn't realize Mariel had moved yet. Yeah, I think it was the Mariel. I think I heard her voice. Not enough to actually get in range of anything yet, though it does do a good job of zoning, so a solid breeze. Interesting to note, actually, Spike was clearly expecting a Lancer Landius with his soldier choice on Deedwit, though it's partially to get around the Tree Sage, but it is actually Cavalry Landius with Templar, so that Deedwit is going to do 40 damage. That Deedwit will do absolutely nothing to that Landius. Mariel with Highlands, not going to cut it either. Though Mariel's not wanting to attack the Landias anyways. Just doing some positioning. Damage dealt down on the Sigma. If this Sigma is well built, it shouldn't matter. He should always kill this Kruger, like, very easily. Ooh, stream. Stream, hello. And we're back. Okay. A little bit of lag there. Looks to be recovered. So yeah, the Sigma should have no trouble killing the Kruger. And by just existing, he's keeping this Kruger pretty far away. So Kruger's not able to really get in and do the debuffing that he wants. Because going in is a suicide mission. Gospel comes out on the Sigma. Just gonna make sure that there's no further Kruger shenanigans there. Make sure that there's no water debuff off of an aggressive jump by the Jugler to slow down his movement. So I think we have a while in this game before we're actually going to see a whole lot of attacking happening. Just because the Sigma's going to keep this Kruger pretty far away, and those two are really the only units doing anything here. So I guess actually that might be a lie. Turn priority is going to Spike, and Sigma is in range of the Kruger. So if he doesn't get unit blocked somehow, he can jump to that Kruger and go ahead and trade with him immediately next turn. And then we go to a 4v4. But after we go to the 4v4, there will be a lot of just kind of standing around. It'll take Mariel a little while to get close enough to do her trade. That's a breeze. That's a tenuous breeze. That's not good. Though it looks like it's not on the... It's not on the Kruger at the very least, so you got that going for you. Actually considering doing a little bit of dispelling. Wow, it's only one debuff. I didn't realize it was that bad. Yeah, that is not a very helpful heal. This is game one. We did just start. You will hear that in a minute. But yes, it is game one. So the question is, do you immediately go in and trade with the Kruger, or do you maybe see miracles to get a damage up, but then you give the Kruger a chance to run away? There is Miracle on the Kruger, so there's a little bit of damage reduction. It is a Swordsmith Kruger, so it's more durable than most. Does it actually matter, though? You still got insane attack on Sigma. You still do very, very good damage. What you thinking, Sigma? Do you do it maybe gonna cycle some cooldowns here? I'm not entirely sure. Yep, Deewit's gonna cycle cooldowns. And then Sea of Miracles. I'm not entirely sure why the Sea of Miracles didn't come first. I guess that lets him keep the damage up on his Deedwit for longer. But this Deedwit's not doing any damage, because she's going to be hitting a Templar's Landius. A Templar's Cavalry Landius as double infantry. So now you just have an extra turn on your Sea of Miracles cooldown. Sigma does have that damage up now. Kruger was probably already dead. Now Kruger is very, very dead. I guess he is on defensive terrain, so that makes sense why you wanted to be a little bit extra cautious. But now this Kruger has the chance to just leave. Kruger doesn't have to stay here anymore. You can chase him down with turn priority again next turn. That is an option. But then that gives an entire turn for you know, Jugler jumps to happen, Landy Eye to move around, and potentially find a way to keep the Sigma from actually landing his hit. Alright, Sigma. Well, I guess we're waiting on Mioko. The other option that Mioko does have is Kruger could just go in. You could just go in and throw out a Midnight Feast, throw out Dark Abyss. But nope, Kruger's just gonna peace out. He is in range of a 6-range attack from the Sigma, but 6-range attack is gonna have to go through these Crystal Warlocks. Twilight Star's not gonna break 100% because it's a bracer. So I don't know if that kills. I definitely wouldn't be confident in that killing if I was Spike. And out comes the Tree Sage 3C. That did a lot of damage, but then it all got healed back. No clock. This Tree Sage could just die to Mariel here if he wanted. But yeah, most of the damage dealt by that Tree Sage was onto troops, just because werewolves took so incredibly much damage from that, just due to demon disadvantage. And then that meant that Jugler wasn't healing everyone else's troops back up. Ooh, looks like Mariel actually is just going to go ahead and heal everyone. I'm not sure if this is actually necessary. I suppose if the cooldown on it is low enough that you get the attack skill back when you go in, there's no harm in doing it. This gets everyone healed up, throws around some random immunities. Actually, Jugler's not back to 100%, which is relevant. You'd have to get B-Shocked for it to actually matter. But anytime that you see a Jugler not at 100%, you should be a little bit concerned. Sea of Miracles means that there's no downtime on this Triton, so that's nice. So Jugler gets to stay in water, and I believe, yeah, he gets to heal back up off of werewolves. So he's back to full. And Sigma's once again in a spot where he can 6-range the Kruger. It's just a question of, will it kill? Should he 6-range the Kruger? He could hit the Rosen as well. If it's Twilight Star, he could kill the Rosen. That's also not terrible. Looks like he's looking at hunting him down with turn priority, though. Seeing if he can find an angle where he can reach to duel on the next turn, rather than having to try and 6-range this turn. So the big issue that Spike has right here is if this Sigma does anything but kill the Kruger, Kruger's going to come in and blow up his whole team. And with Sea of Miracles on cooldown already, and now God King's Aegis on cooldown, there won't be a lot that he can do to respond to getting hit by Kruger. So he really wants to keep this Sigma available. Fog is very likely to push this Kruger back into Spike, but Mioko can just hold his Kruger action for last, and then, yeah, Spike doesn't have as good of an engage onto this Kruger. He's also, there is at least one tile that Kruger can go to that Sigma cannot hit. So he can either try to survive it from the forest, or he can go a little bit south and he can avoid the Kruger or avoid the Sigma completely and keep this Kruger around for one more turn. Then he will get pushed into Sigma. And he might just get hunted with turn priority if he goes there. Triton comes up. Mariel is available to attack things here, but the target that Mariel probably wants is this Rosen, who is, you know, in Crystal right now, so that's not going to happen. Kruger has one safe tile this turn, but it won't be safe for long. Mioko is actually offering up a full lockdown here. Nope, the Jugler can't reach. Never mind. Does the Mariel want to go for this Kruger? I believe... yeah, the Mariel's attack skill will not be available if she goes in this turn. And without attack skill, she's not going to kill that Kruger. And Jugler's just going to hang out. Let's see. The Tree Sage tiles are not done this turn because they last forever. So yeah, he still has another turn to go before these tiles fade. That's still another turn where this Jugler is getting pretty hard walled out. Both players burning pretty deep into their backup time, just trying to navigate this mess. This is a mess. Uh-oh, stream struggling again. Oh, that might be me. We can hear it, but we can't see it. There we go, and we're back. And once again, we're in the same spot. Do you 6-range the Kruger, or do you just chill and try and get a duel on him? You do anything with the Mariel? Probably not. Yep, both players under 30 seconds of backup time. So they will have to accelerate a little bit here shortly. But also, things are going to start happening pretty quickly here. Once the Sigma goes in, everyone's going to go insane. Sigma's not going to be able to pick the Kruger with turn priority, though. There is a safe tile for this Kruger to go to. So he could have another turn of stall. After that, though, Kruger won't be able to hide anywhere. But at that point, Kruger's already gotten pretty close to the team. And with a breeze proc, he can potentially just go in now. Sigma cannot reach him. So he could reach the end of the turn and just engage with this Kruger. Ooh, he doesn't have the best mobility, though, thanks to Crystal Warlocks as opposed to Sorceresses. But at the same time, Crystal Warlock for the entire reason he's alive right now. So, can't blame him too much. Yep, everyone's just gonna buff back up. Tenuous Breeze. Uh-oh. Did that go onto the Jugler? I think that went onto the Jugler. Deedwick gonna cycle cooldowns again, maybe? Mariel could go in now. She would have her attack skills available. But Mariel doesn't want to try for this Kruger. It's not guaranteed that she'd get him first off, because she doesn't have an attack buff. And if she goes for the Kruger, then Sigma doesn't have a mark anymore. Sigma can still just attack at 3 range onto this Rosen, onto the Tree Sage, and that's probably fine. But I think the concern is more Mariel might not kill the Kruger. If the Mariel actually even reaches the Kruger, which she might not. Nope, Mariel's just going to end her turn. Time is getting very, very low. It's trying to figure out what to do and burn some actions while waiting for this Kruger to decide how this game goes. Uh-oh, that's a jump. Where are we going? Ouch. But everyone gets healed back up. There is still debuff immunity on the Sigma, so no water movement there. Ooh, counter jump. Where's this one going? That felt like an odd one. That does mean that he can't get pulled into Landius off of a Beast Shock. I believe that's what that jump was for. Was to ensure that his Jugler doesn't get pulled into a Beast Shock. With broken Last Rites and Steel Mains over Lobsters, he might actually die if he gets hit by that. So he wants to ensure that doesn't happen. Sigma trying to figure out where to position in these last few seconds. Gonna go with there. Hopefully that's in the right spot. Kruger's in range though. That Jugler jump was from Mioko, also got his Jugler out of the way, so now Kruger can do this. This is going to be a 5-man hit here. Immunity faded on the Sigma as well. So this is going to... If a silence comes out here or a passive block, Sigma cannot kill the Kruger anymore. So that's what we're checking for. Did not see it. There is a damage down, though. With shield up, that might be enough to keep this Kruger alive. 50-50 silence on the D-Lit. Ouch. Alright, here comes Sigma. Maybe? Yes. Here comes Sigma. Does it kill the Kruger with 20% damage down through barrier? It's gonna be awkward. Is it enough? It is. Okay. So Kruger drops, and that's all the damage that Mioko had. Tree Sage is on cooldown. Jugler's Beast Shocking a Landius. Though the Landius is passive blocked, so he couldn't just 100-0 the Landius with Beast Shock. I don't know for certain if that kills, though. Jugler struggles pretty consistently against damage reduction. Tree Sage almost kills himself on that attack, and then heals back to full. Jugler Beast Shocking into Landius, maybe take the first life. Gonna burn a turn on the Landius before doing it. So now we have the 4v4 that we kind of expected to have since the game began. Both jumps are on cooldown. Here comes Beast Shock. Does it kill this Landius? It does. So that's a dead Landius. Passive block from Kruger coming in clutch. Beast Shock from... Ooh, looks like there's a passive block. No, there's just no water on the Jugler. Just trying to do something. Ends up not being in range with this Mariel, though. Gonna have to just heal instead. Time pressure really starting to be a factor. So there's no passive block on the Jugler for Spike. Which means that he could step into water here and do a bunch of damage with Beast Shock. But it shouldn't be killing Miyoko's Jugler. Not through lobsters. Hitting into the Landius, though, you should be killing. This should absolutely kill Landius with Templar. If it kills Landius with Royals, it kills Landius with Templar. Blood Shield, though, is actually going to completely save him. And that's just a GG. Unfortunate. Unfortunate timing for that Blood Shield. So that's going to be game 1 to Mioko. And we're going to go into the no peeking screen while they set up for game 2. Yeah. Spike really needed to be able to find a way to hit that Kruger before getting hit himself. But there really just wasn't a good opening. Mioko did a very good job of protecting that Kruger. And then that breeze came in at just the right time. There was a lot of very well-timed RNG coming in from Mioko. Breeze came at just the right time for Kruger to be able to get in around the Sigma. Blood Shield at the end there, though I don't think that Blood Shield would have mattered. I think when Spike lost his Landius, he was probably dead, because the Jugler wouldn't have been able to keep the rest of the team alive as well, like a Jugler Landius pair could have. Alright, and here we go. So we see no backup boxes. Everyone's sticking with what they got. Spike is player 1 once again. Frozen first ban from Mioko. And Hilda first ban. No changes here, no complaints. They're both banning the things that deal with them. The things that they have the most trouble dealing with. It's going to be a Sigma first from Spike again. We'll see if Sigma has a little more success. Floating Courtyard, though. Not a great map. Just gotta say. Not a great map. It's going to be pretty hard for the Sigma to find a good angle. It's pretty hard for a lot of Spike's box to find a good angle on this map. This is a rough one for sure. It's a similar story for Mioko, but I think his box can be a little bit more... Can handle the map a little bit better. Ooh, it's actually a Himiko first pick. Risks losing both his tanks for doing so. He could have Bernhardt tank. Bernhardt tank is kind of iffy, especially against the things that Spike has available. And it will be a double tank ban. Jugler pick comes in from Spike. So will it be a Bernhardt tank, or is Mioko just going full on ham this game? I don't know if I like this Himiko pick though. Sigma does have the option to bring a skill set that will just kill this Himiko. No shenanigans with darting back to her team or anything. She can just die. It will be a Bernhardt pick though. So he does have a tank option with the Bernhardt. Spike gonna go ahead and ban both the Act Again healers. Debating picking a Florin? Yeah, gonna go ahead and pick a Florin. So he does have an actual healer this game. That is something that hurt him a bit last game, is he didn't have a healer to respond to the Kruger attack. So he ended up losing his Landius to a passive block. Not being able to keep his Jugler healthy to do extra damage. Or to be more durable, right? Is a Rosen pick in response to the double healer ban. I feel like Miyoko's team is very frail right now. I don't really like Rosen Burn as a core. Burn is just not durable enough. Sigma can pick this Burn. Ares can pick this Burn with single target. Elwyn could pick this Burn depending on troops if it gets picked. Mariel could pick the Burn. Licorice, if it's steel mains, Licorice could probably pick the Burn. There's a lot of things that kill this Bernhardt. So if it is Bernhardt tank, that's going to be rough. Rosen's not really going to keep you alive. Tree Sage. Tree Sage is obnoxiously good on this map. This Jugler is going to get completely shut out. This Ares is probably going to get... Ares shouldn't get completely shut out, but Ares gets pretty well dealt with by the Tree Sage. Licorice has to bring grounded troops, which... This map sucks for grounded troops. That Tree Sage is definitely obnoxious on this map. And we're going to see a Licorice as the last pick for Mioko. So, player 2 Licorice versus player 1 Licorice. Very good for player 2. It is very hard to get tiles to stay around as player 1 Licorice. Though Tree Sage and Licorice being on the same team is awkward. You really want these Tree Sage tiles to stick around, but if Licorice does anything, she's going to overwrite them. And that's definitely unfavorable. You would absolutely much rather have the Tree Sage tiles against this team, against the Ares, against the Jugler. Why is my internet so bad? Please recover. I can still hear what's going on in the game. It's just frozen. Okay, there we go. I guess it didn't matter for you guys because you get the no peeking screen. So yeah, we'll see what the skill sets are. See, you know, is the Ares AoE or is it single target? Single target Ares could probably break the Bernhardt, but do you even need to break the Bernhardt? right? You have AoEs in the Licorice, in the Jugler, and then an Assassin in the Sigma. Do you really care about killing Burn? But at the same time, if you bring AoE, well, there's an entire Rosen on the other side of the field, so you're not killing anything. Definitely awkward. Though if the Rosen gets picked by the Sigma, you know, you don't have to worry about it anymore. And we're off. Ooh, it's a 5-star Florin form Spike. That's a little bit awkward. Dang it, I didn't catch the Bernhardt skill. Licorice actually brought Mass Protect for Mioko though. That's a little bit strange. I feel like you don't need those immunities so much. That's a Bracer. Okay. Yeah. It won't protect her from Twilight Star because she is holy. I do believe that I saw Iron Fist on the Bernhardt, so it is a Bernhardt tank. But again, what is this Bernhardt tanking? So, you guys didn't see it, but I saw in the skill select, it is AoE Ares. Licorice for Spike is Transform, Mass Heal, and Mass Protect to prevent Bernhardt heal blocks. But then the Bernhardt didn't bring heal blocks, so... Oops. Spike, once again, Werewolves on his Jugler. Once again, I don't like those here. Yeah, there it is, Iron Fist, for certain. I really don't like Werewolves here. There's 2 holy units on the other side of the map. There's magic damage almost exclusively coming into you. I'm not sure what the reason is to bring Werewolves this game. Same as last game. Sigma is marking Licorice. Now, an option that Licorice does have on this map, though, is to hide in the floating tiles in the middle. She'd need to make sure that she's in Bernhardt guard range to do that. But as long as Sigma can't get inside of 3 blocks, then I don't believe that he can jump to her. Because he can target her for the jump, but then he can't land anywhere. And I think the attack will fail if he can't do it. Same way that Leaden attack fails if he can't teleport you next to him. I believe Sigma will fail to actually hit the Licorice if she goes into the center of the sky. Bernhardt showing off that fancy new 3C. I'm also wondering if Licorice is the most important unit for the Sigma to go after. I'd be tempted to say that he should be going for the Rosen instead in order to make his AoEs good. But we'll see. We'll see. I am concerned that these AoEs aren't going to do enough damage through the Rosen, though. Oh, that's a Tenyo's Breeze. Nice. That is going to be obnoxious for Mioko to deal with. Licorice gonna mass protect in the back. Yeah, so chat right now is talking about single target Ares versus Bernhardt. I do agree. If Bernhardt is able to go Steel Mains, no chance. If you have a way to force the Bernhardt onto Colossus or Titans, I think Ares might be able to do it. But Werewolves, no. Werewolves are OP. So Jugler is in range to jump into this team and lock down the Tree Sage with this Tenuous Breeze. Probably not really useful though. They're just gonna move up a little bit. Take a little bit of terrain. Maybe get something started next turn. The Mass Protect is definitely odd on the Licorice. I'm not sure why that's not just Mass Heal. Because there's no need for defensive buffs on these units. 3 of your units are already covered by faction buff. And the 2 that aren't defense buff or no defense buff, if someone's hitting them, they're dead anyways. Iron Fist comes up from the burn. I feel like that Iron Fist is just, because he has it, he might as well use it. It doesn't really protect anything though. Sigma's gonna go around it. I guess it stops Sigma from 6-ranging you. But yeah, Sigma's gonna go around it whenever he's attacking. And everyone else is AoE, so who cares if you are guarding with this burn. Though there actually isn't a lot of AoE damage on Spike's side. Since this Licorice is full support in expectation of Sword Stance on the Bernhardt, he actually doesn't have any offensive pressure from this Licorice outside of just basic attacks. So yeah, the Licorice doesn't provide damage. The Florin doesn't really do a lot of damage. So that just leaves you with Ares and Jugler AoE have to kill this team, but with a Rose in here? Ooh, there's no Mass Crystal Heal on that Rose. Wait a minute. Alright, I thought it wasn't possible for them to kill, but with no Mass Crystal Heal, Ares and Jugler can definitely knock out this team. Because Ares can engage before Crystal Healing goes on anyone. The Rosen on Mioko's side has to 3C to get the entire team healing. But if she 3Cs early, then you just don't go in. So I feel like bringing Miracle for Mioko might have been a mistake. And the stream is lagging a little bit again, and we're back. Yeah, Miracle would be better against single target Ares, but Werewolves are going to handle the single target Ares anyways. I think Mass Crystal would have been a lot better here, because then you don't have to worry about Ares at all. He just won't do anything. So yeah, this Ares definitely has a potential window in the upcoming turns. We'll see if he finds a way to make use of it. We also know that it's not full moon on the Ares, so it's either breeze or magic, which means that this Himiko is much less safe than if it was full moon, just because you're breaking through more of that last right's damage reduction. There's definitely the potential for this Ares to one-shot the Himiko, though Himiko has the crystal healing right now. So Himiko's not going to die with the crystal healing. As long as that stays up on the Himiko, she'll be fine. Rosen's not going to die from just shrines, and then you don't care about killing the Licorice because you're killing the Licorice with Sigma. Miracle comes out from the Rosen, I guess just to make sure that Ares does absolutely nothing if he goes in. Also, Ares going in for AoEs inside a Burn Aura it's sad. It's really sad to watch. He just doesn't do any damage anymore. Magic Ares or no, it just doesn't accomplish anything. Regroup comes out from the Florin. Anyone getting rushed? Sigma, perhaps? Would Sigma be in range with a rush? Maybe, but with where Himiko's standing, Sigma can't actually jump the Licorice. This is a very good map for hiding from Sigma. That's for certain. Marking a flyer is very, very hard to actually pull off on this map. It will be rush on the Sigma. And then immediately overwritten with Tenyo's Breeze. Nice use of stacks. Tenyo's Breeze was unnecessary though. Rush would have been enough to hit the Licorice, but again, he can't actually reach the Licorice. Though he could 6-range the Licorice. Instead of jumping to the Licorice, he can 3C her. And with Sorks on the Licorice, should be fine. So that you know in a minute when it becomes relevant. The score is 0-1. Mioko won the last game. This is game 2. And we see a 3C come out from the Himiko. We get Yep Clock. We get the Tenyo's Breeze stolen. Uh-oh. So Himiko can just throw out another 3C here. Licorice cannot move at all. Sigma looks like he got -2 mobility here. -3 movement on the Jugler cancels out the Tenyos. What do you do here as Mioko? You send this Himiko back home? That seems okay. You don't lose your Death Shadow for this because the attack doesn't happen. Yeah, Himiko's going home. Bye. Actually, wait, you do lose your Death Shadow for this. Why do you lose your Death Shadow for that, but not for Twilight kills? If Twilight kills someone, you don't lose Death Shadow. But apparently you lose Death Shadow if you send a Himiko home. So that's not good. That's a lot of damage on this Jugler as well, off of this Tree Sage AoE. He can use his Licorice to heal up, take back some of these tiles so that he can start moving again. That's what he's going to do. He's going to get healed back up. He's not going to get the Jugler even close to full HP, though. His soldiers were almost entirely dead from that Tree Sage. So when the AoEs start coming out, the damage is going to start to stick now. Sigma now needs to wait an entire turn before he can do anything at all. And you still have the issue of, what does Ares kill? Does Ares actually accomplish anything whatsoever? Comes 3C number 2. Bonk. Yup, clock again. That's not good. No one should be dead to the next Himiko 3C, but also Himiko can just, like, basic attack the Licorice and kill her, maybe? Not after a Florin AoE, though. Florin will keep the team alive here. Do a little damage while she's at it. Swoop. Gonna go ahead and save the stacks. Oh, Florin gets silenced. That's really, really, really bad. Yikes. So now Licorice needs to cleanse this silence in order for Florin to do anything. But Licorice doesn't have mass heal anymore. She can transform to get mass heal. I believe mass protect is up. So that's the only debuff on this Florin. You can get rid of it. But double clock on this Himiko could very well just be a death sentence. Though the Himiko's not doing a lot of damage to this team. All things considered, Himiko hasn't really done anything to this double healer team. I don't have Yep. I need to get Yep. Sorry, that's my bad. So you can AoE with Ares here, but 3C just went down on Rosen, so everyone's got crystal healing on them, so your AoE is going to do absolutely nothing. The only reason to AoE would be if you wanted to pull some people around, but do you really gain anything by doing that? I guess it depends on where you pull them from. Timer's starting to put a lot of pressure on Spike again. It will be Ares engage. He's just going to single target the Himiko. Doesn't get it with the attack though, and actually just concedes because he's not going to get it with the sweep either. That's unfortunate. And that's game. So it will be a 2-0 for Mioko. There was just too much RNG, too many clocks. He had to make some pretty desperate plays that just couldn't quite pan out. Unfortunate for sure. Yep, so that is going to be it for today. So I will go ahead and end stream there. I'll be back. I will not be streaming tomorrow, but I will be playing my TSDL game tomorrow. So someone else will be casting, and you can see me then. Later.